I never imagined a single thumbs up emoji could destroy a lie that had taken years to build. By the time my wife realized what it meant, it was already too late. My name is Ethan Carter. I'm a high school history teacher in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. My wife, Laura, wasn't famous when we met. She was funny, creative, and could make an ordinary grocery trip feel like an adventure. Then social media happened. Little jokes became skits. Skits became sponsorships. Sponsors became millions of followers. Somewhere along the way, our marriage became content. At first it was harmless. She'd record me trying spicy wings, film me decorating Christmas cookies, post clips of us dancing in the kitchen. People loved the perfect couple. But they weren't seeing real life. They were seeing edited happiness. I kept asking her for one thing. Just don't make our marriage the joke. She always smiled. Relax, Ethan. It's just entertainment. Then came the prank. She told me she had something exciting planned with her content group in Chicago. I kissed her goodbye before work. That afternoon my phone exploded. Every teacher in the faculty lounge stared at me. One of them slowly turned his phone around. There was Laura, standing in front of hidden cameras, crying. I can't do this anymore. My husband controls everything. I'm finally leaving him. The video looked real, painfully real. Then the screen cut to black. 30 seconds later, she burst into laughter. Got him. Confetti exploded. Her influencer friends screamed. Best breakup prank ever. The caption read, watching my husband panic was priceless. Within 12 hours, it had over 1 million views. The comments were brutal. Poor guy. He deserves it. I'd leave someone like that too. Parents at school whispered. Students looked at me with pity. Even my principal quietly asked if I needed personal leave. Laura texted me only once, lighten up. It's just content. I stared at the message, then replied with 1 thumbs up. Nothing else. She thought she'd won. That night I packed a single overnight bag. Not because I was leaving, because I needed silence. The next morning I called someone I hadn't spoken to in months. Laura's father, Richard Bennett, a retired firefighter from Des Moines. He answered immediately. Ethan, I've been meaning to call. I saw the video. I'm ashamed. That surprised me. Richard had always defended Laura. Always, until now. I have something you deserve to know, he said quietly. 2 hours later I was sitting at his kitchen table. He opened an old wooden box. Inside were handwritten journals, family letters, old photographs. What you're seeing online isn't who Laura used to be. He showed me notebooks she'd written in college, dreams, goals, letters she'd never mailed. One sentence appeared over and over. I never want fame to matter more than family. Richard wiped his eyes. I don't know when I lost my daughter. Then he asked me something unexpected. Ethan, would you help me remind her who she used to be? I nodded. That evening, Richard called Laura. I'm coming over tomorrow. She sounded cheerful. Perfect. We're filming another prank. No, he replied. We're filming something else. She laughed, thinking he was joking. He wasn't. The next afternoon, Richard sat in front of a single camera. No dramatic lighting, no music. Just an old firefighter wearing his retirement sweatshirt. He opened one of Laura's journals. Then he began reading. Age 19. If I ever become successful, I hope I never embarrass someone I love just to make strangers laugh. He looked directly into the camera. I was proud when my daughter became successful. I stopped being proud when success became more important than kindness. He opened another page. Marriage should feel safe. If I ever humiliate my husband for attention, I hope someone reminds me who I was. Richard couldn't continue. His voice broke. He simply closed the journal. I'm that someone. The video ended there. No insults, no yelling, no revenge, only truth. Laura had no idea, neither did her audience. Richard uploaded it to a brand new channel called Letters We Forgot. Within hours, people started sharing it. Not because it was dramatic, because it was heartbreaking. Then something unbelievable happened. People compared the 2 videos side by side. The fake breakup, the father's response. The internet saw everything differently. The comments changed overnight. This isn't funny anymore. Imagine humiliating your own spouse. Her father looks devastated. Sponsors noticed. Not because Ethan exposed her, because kindness exposed cruelty. 24 hours later, Laura's phone rang. It was her mother. She was crying so hard she could barely breathe. They posted another video. Laura, oh my God. What is your father reading on camera? Laura watched it once, then again, then a third time. By the end, she wasn't crying because she'd lost followers. She was crying because she'd heard 19-year-old Laura speaking to 32-year-old Laura. And 19-year-old Laura was disappointed. She drove to Richard's house immediately. He opened the door. She tried explaining. It was just business. It wasn't real. He quietly answered, your husband's humiliation was. She couldn't respond. Then she came to our house. For the first time in years. No camera, no tripod, no microphone. She stood on the porch for nearly 10 minutes before knocking. I opened the door. Neither of us spoke. Finally she whispered, "I watched Dad's video." I barely recognized myself. I stepped aside. She came in. Our living room felt strangely unfamiliar, like strangers renting memories. She looked around. "I thought you were going to destroy me." I shook my head. "No, you were already doing that." Silence. Then she asked the hardest question. "Can we fix this?" I didn't answer immediately, because forgiveness isn't a switch, it's a process. "I don't know," I admitted. "But if there's any chance, it starts with living a life that's real. Not one people clap for, one we're proud of when nobody's watching." Over the next year, Laura deleted hundreds of videos. She publicly apologized. Not with tears designed for views, without monetization, without sponsors, without dramatic music. She volunteered with local schools teaching teenagers about digital responsibility. Richard never asked for credit. He never mentioned the journals again. He simply welcomed his daughter home every Sunday for dinner. 1 year later, Laura posted exactly one family photo. No caption, no filters, no performance. Just 3 people smiling around Richard's old backyard grill, for the first time in years. The moment belonged to us, not the internet. Because the strongest relationships aren't the ones that look perfect online. They're the ones willing to choose honesty. Even when nobody's watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.